Hello, welcome to Pure Tarot. I'm doing a collective message tonight for the full moon that we're going to have in Pisces in a few days on the 20th of September, 19th, 20th. And there's some quite interesting aspects going on as well between an opposition slowly forming between Venus and Uranus in the sky as well, in the Taurus-Scorpio axis. And there's a beautiful mutual reception between Mars in Libra and Venus in Scorpio. So there's a lot of, I guess, passionate energy, but it's quite, part of it is subtle and part of it is right in your face. And the full moon, the moon will have just transited over Neptune, so it'll have like sort of a trail of, I guess some sort of mystery before hitting the sun right in opposition and turning into that full moon. And Mars is in the mix as well in Libra. The sun will be end of Virgo, but Mars will be in Libra, is in Libra, I should say. So he's a little further away, but there's a dimension there where he's also bringing in some kind of, I guess, some kind of charge to the feelings that you might experience. So there's a mixed bag, and it's quite an interesting energy because it means that it's multifaceted. So that's really interesting because I think it brings a lot more depth to what you could be experiencing. So enough astrology. That's just like the context, and let's do a reading for the collective and see where what we pick up in light of those aspects coming up. Okay. Let's take a look. So I'm deciding to use the White Light Oracle deck. I wanted to pull one card for the collective and read out of the book. There's a very short passage that starts, I guess, the text for each card. I'm only going to read that. It'll give us a starting point. So, let's see. Okay, we have epsilon modulation. Modulation, yes. So it's quite interesting. There's this stone here, I guess like a crystal. And there's more than one, right? It's a line of crystals. And obviously there's other ones on the crown here. So it obviously sort of resonates with chakras, right? But let's read out of the book. So, epsilon modulation. Gather your energies and go within to regenerate. Let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than trying to force yourself to keep pace with external cues. Commit to your own natural timing and pace. As you ground and connect to your center, you will realize your spiritual power to be at cause in any situation of concern. You have such goodness and light within you. Let go of shaming or blaming. Embrace the spiritual beauty within. Here, let's keep it here. I'm using the medieval tarot. Let's see what comes up. On this full moon with the complex energies that we have. So some cards came out, I guess, coupled. I'm going to respect that. And here I got 5 cards. One came out alone, and then 5 together. I'm going to keep them together. I'm going to show you in a second. So the first 2 cards are the 4 of Swords in reverse and the Sun. So collective is coming out of a resting period. It's really interesting. If I go back to this, I should keep it open. You know, gather your energies and go within to regenerate. So I'm thinking that you've been doing this and you're now ready to come out of that regeneration period. Especially now with the full moon, you're ready to come out of that shell. And the Sun is where, you know, you're basically opening yourself up again, wanting to express yourself, and really feel the enthusiasm and the originality that inhabits you. I think you thought about it long enough, and your mind is made up. That's how it feels. Here we have the 9 of Swords, and we have the World. So, you know how I said the full moon was going to be a mixed bag, and I think that these different sections of how I pulled the cards is quite a good representation of these different sides, multi-dimensions of the energies. So here, the 9 of Swords and the World, there's definitely something that's that has ran its course. There's definitely it's a wrap. That's what I heard. It's a wrap. You know, like when you do movies and it's your last scene, it's a wrap. For those who are not familiar with that saying. So yeah, definitely something also that was bringing you a lot of inner turmoil. You know, this poor dragon here, like its tail is really, really entangled, and you know, he's pulling his tongue like, and he's being choked by this chain here. So there was definitely a lot of almost bondage and a lot of knots maybe in your stomach, you might even have felt nauseous at times about a situation. Your emotions really got the best of you in a situation. But that's coming to an end. It's in a beautiful way. It's quite a liberation. And again, I want to come back to this card, let go of actions. Let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than trying to force yourself to keep pace with external cues. So that's quite in line here. Let's see. Commit to your own natural timing and pace. So that's the realization, I guess, coming out of all this, I don't know. It feels like, again, I come back to the idea of this entanglement. So I have the impression also of a loop, something on a loop. So what I like here is that, you're on a loop, but at some point you get ejected. And, but also the loop is the wrap, right? It's a wrap. But I want to say you get ejected, but it's like changing planes, right? I like that. And this is how you finally move out. You change dimensions, I want to say. And this is only figurative, right? It's and I think it has to do with, these cards really resonate to get, like, somehow they have sort of the same kind of sequencing to them, right? Here you're coming out of a resting period, but this initial resting period is where you were caught up, right? Caught up in those negative emotions, or, like I said, something that was really tying you up in knots inside. And here the world and the sun have there's a parallel here with I want to say how you are beautifully coming out, I guess, collective. There's really like, it's a shift. It's definitely a shift, and I almost want to say that it's both inwardly, something inside you is dissipating, but yet the outside world is also welcoming you in this new state, right? That's quite beautiful. There's definitely outside circumstances that are turning in your favor. So there's something that is, I guess, pulling you out, or at least it's a timing. It's a timing thing, I want to say. It's really interesting. I'm not feeling Uranus, the opposition Venus-Uranus. That would be something much more electric, but I'm going to see if I see it elsewhere in the cards. I mean, here we have the Four of Wands, so the card of harmony and home and stability, which definitely would not portend to Uranus, but I almost want to say this would be the Neptune trail I was telling you that is being sort of imprinted before the moon moves into its opposition and creates the full moon. There's sort of a beautiful Piscean vibe on this card here. You see there's music, There's music, and Neptune is music, singing. It's quite beautiful. I'm wondering if you have, in the few days that are coming, the opportunity to, I don't know, maybe watch a concert, even if it's on TV or online, something related to the arts, right? And particularly music would be quite important. Maybe you want to take music lessons, guitar, piano, even singing lessons. Anything to shine, anything to express yourself. There's a huge self-expression energy coming off of these cards for you, collective. It's really interesting. It's like putting yourself out there in the world, shining your light with the sun in the world, shining your light in the world. I feel that quite strongly. And it's bringing you a lot of balance. It might even bring you closer to people around you, namely your family, but friends could be also. Or just the people you might meet through this activity related to music. That's a possibility. That's really interesting. You know, I was trying to get a feeling for the suddenness of Venus, Uranus, and although I'm picking up Neptune strongly on this card, you know, Venus being the lower octave of Neptune in terms of beauty, aestheticism, and even all talents related to music, poetry. I mean, it's still there. And you know, Venus rules Taurus and Libra, so Taurus is the throat. Libra is amongst other things, and without pointing a body part for Libra, which would be kidneys, but I would say definitely working in a small group. Not a large group, a small group. But definitely exchanging, communication, singing, again. And I was trying to, I have a feel for Uranus in the suddenness at the pace that you're coming out of this period, right? There's a sort of, I don't know, it's a tilt. It's a wrap. I keep wanting to say that. Like you really feel it, and it's quite sudden. Yeah, it feels sudden. So let's look at the series of 5 here. Ace of Cups in reverse. The Queen of Wands. Sorry for the glare. Judgment. I love these cards, they're beautiful. The Six of Wands in reverse. And the Chariot in reverse. Oh, I'm not showing you very long. I don't know if you have time to see. So let me see. As you ground and connect to your center, you will realize your spiritual power to be at cause in any situation of concern. You have such goodness and light within you. Let go of shame or blaming. It's interesting. I would say let go of shame or blaming on the judgment card, obviously. It's almost literal, but there's definitely a moment. Again, there's a shift. There's a moment where you recognize your inner lights and the strength of your spiritual power and the beauty within. Again, it has to do with Uranus, Venus. You know, you get this sudden realization of your self-worth, of your worth, your value out there in the world, you know, and you're ready to express it without, you know, even shaming or blaming yourself let alone others, but initially yourself as well, right? And, you know, your emotions here are a bit, I guess, crooked. But you've got this passionate drive here with the Queen of Wands, right? So I think it's again a mixed bag. I think the Queen of Wands would be like the very fiery nature in which you're looking to express yourself now, and somehow you are still keeping part of your emotions in check with that Ace of Cups in reverse. I think you're gonna go towards your desires, and again you're gonna yes, I really feel like a go-getting attitude here. It's a go-get, but there's some reserve, I have to admit. I feel reserve in terms of emotions, and I feel reserve here with the Six of Wands and the Chariot in reverse. I think that you're going to be very cautious with your actions, which is great, because it means that it tempers the it kind of it tempers down the strong go-getter attitude of the Queen of Wands here. It doesn't take away her drive. It simply channels it, like it canalizes it differently, right? It's sort of she's almost again, she's keeping her emotions in check, and she's not being blinded by, you know, outward success, you know, and she doesn't feel like a conqueror, you know. So it's fine, because she's not, you know, she's not trying to push doors opened. And the Chariot here is also showing that, you know, she's slowing down the pace, slowing down the movement, you know, maybe even halting the movement to a certain degree. And it all hinges on the middle card here between, inside these 5 cards, the Judgment is in the middle. So it's like a hinge between these energies here. And that hinge is really that realization, the realization of her own inner strength. But it's more than strength. It's really the spiritual power that the Oracle card was describing. You know, this figure here, she's very, she's in total abandonment. Look at her hands. I've slept like that before. I mean, I've noticed sometimes you lie down and it can be quite comfortable. I mean, you wouldn't sleep like that all night, but I'm just saying it's a very there's a lot of surrender in this card. And I think it's almost like not a condition, but like it's sort of it opens up the possibilities here. You know, it's interesting. I'm seeing the mutual reception between Venus and Mars here, because Venus is in Scorpio in detriment, and Mars is in Libra in detriment. And here with these cards, you know, Venus is not at home in Scorpio, so the Ace of Cups is in reverse. And here the Six of Wands is in reverse, so Mars is not comfortable in Libra either. So hence the slowing down, hence the, you know, there's sort of a dialogue though. There's definitely an exchange of energies here. But it's really interesting. Collective, you're coming up, you know, you're the Queen of Wands here. It's almost like, you know, she has her wand here, and she's waiting. I mean, I'm gonna say something silly, but it's not. It's just it's what came up. You know, it's like a, you know, she's waiting to. How do you say? Hit someone on the head. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not like she wants to hurt them or anything. It's more like again, it's more of the waiting energy, like the hold back. This is what I'm trying to describe. But she is. There's something in her that, you know, is very, I guess, blunt force, right? The and what's beautiful is that it's being how do you say, reined in, you know, like just enough. So that's good. That's really, really good. But you know, the Judgment here is also Judgment is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is going to be sextile the full moon. Pluto in Capricorn will be sextile the moon in Pisces, and trine the sun in Virgo. So it's really interesting. There's a regeneration here. There's something that's, again, it's whatever was happening here in this resting period, whatever had you feel sick in the stomach, you know, all bottled up and all bunched up and whatever you want to say. Could even be within your intestines, right? You could have been feeling it in your gut, you know, feeling discomfort. And I'm making those correlations because they're linked to Pluto and Scorpio. And so, but there's a lot of regenerative force here. And you know, the sun is definitely a regenerating energy. This is really, really beautiful in terms of the potential, but also what I think is really happened and happening and is still unfolding, you know. But there's a huge resonance, not resonance, but there's a definitely movement towards others, opening yourself up to the world, but doing it with caution, and I guess maybe even more targeting your actions in order to save your energy, right? To conserve your energy and invest it in the right things, or the right people, the right situations, and dosing that even, even within those specific actions that you decide to put on your agenda, even those you would dose your input in order to conserve enough energy to maybe even invest in other things that you want to do. I feel a lot of, I guess, I want to say almost scheduling, but it's not really just scheduling. It's an instinctive dosing. So it's not something you plan, but it's something that you feel, so you're very attuned to that. But definitely beautiful moments here with the Four of Wands in terms of collaboration. Not really collaboration, but somehow interaction is the better word. Relating. Interacting. I think it's going to bring you a lot of pleasure, or just feel good energy, you know. You're going to feel very centered, I want to say. When you dose that energy and you hold your emotions just enough, you go after what you want just enough, you have the sound judgment to do so, and you temper your arrogance, and you slow yourself down when you feel like you're about to tip over. All of that energy is really well measured. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful reading, collective. And the sun and the world here, just amazing. I mean, it's you're right there. You're quite connected, I want to say. It's really beautiful. Wow. Well, that's what I have for you, collective. So don't forget, the last sentence here says, embrace the spiritual beauty within. So I'm gonna leave you with that. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your full moon. Take care.